Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Rally Podcast. I'm your host, Mike White, alongside two hosts you know. Of course, the loudmouth from down south, Logan Cornelius, who actually just found a podium finish last week. You excited about
It's
that?
true.
You
It
can
was it
actually
was
play.
exciting.
You're not just a
I
talker.
I eh, More or less.
Maybe you're just so
Let's let
famous you have a good partner.
people were scared.
Yeah. And we also have Sean Boyer, our host from the West Coast, has a much simpler nickname and probably likes it a little more than Loudmouth from down south. But
A little
anyway,
more.
our guest today is the man, the myth, the legend, videographer and graphic designer for Spikeball Inc., Tom Goulet.
Yo!
Hey,
Oh,
You made it.
hey guys.
you're only a little late.
What is up?
You've been practicing your air guitar?
Yeah,
Hey, I hear you're a pretty good karaoke singer, Tom.
I'm pretty good. I strictly do Ja Rule.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, I also forgot to mention in this intro that we're in the Spike van, or I'm in the Spike van. In Kansas City, we tried to record this a week ago when I was in St. Louis, but I left my laptop charger somewhere, so like 10 minutes in, my laptop died. So let's see if Tom remembers his answer or if he was lying to me last time.
Yeah, part 2 of the explosive
Yes.
Tom Goulet interview.
Okay, let's start it off. Who is Tom Goulet?
Great question, Mike. Well, I'm the graphic designer and the videographer at Spikeball. And I make all the cool stuff you guys always see.
Everything that's cool, like when you see those cool posts where the ball is spinning in someone's hand, and you registered
Yeah.
for the tournament because of that cool graphic, that was Tom.
Exactly. All the trippy stuff you guys ever see.
All Tom
That's me.
Goulet. And Tom also had a big part in the ESPN broadcast. But to get to know Tom, you also know he's kind of weird, and he's a big videographer, and he has a lot of comedy videos out there, and also some interesting pics. And actually, beforehand, I
What
said,
are you
Tom,
talking about?
I go, Tom, is there anything that you want me to ask? And he said, ask about my haircut. And it's actually funny because I had on the list, there's a picture online of that's like frat house style, where they have a picture of all of the members of the frat, but there's one of Tom, and it's Tom with 50 different haircuts, just a bunch different pictures. So what is the story behind that?
Well, Mike, the first rule of interviewing is don't tell the audience what you asked to ask.
But that was on my list, so I just saying
Oh, you were
on
gonna
this-
ask
I
about
was
my
gonna
cool
ask
hair?
that anyway. No, well, not about your cool hair now, about your cool haircuts back in the day.
Oh, well, that works out nicely. Well, I was not. We didn't have frats at Ithaca, so I made my own frat, and I lived in a single at the time, so I just had a picture of a bunch of me on the wall. But if you're asking about my haircut now, thank you. I'm glad that you like it.
I wasn't, but
Asking.
yeah.
That's
Okay.
the plan, Mike.
So more background is you have a lot of videos on YouTube, like the critically acclaimed Bird Watcher Watcher and Serial Dust. How does making Spikeball videos now compared to making those videos in the past?
There's probably a quicker turnaround for most of the Spikeball videos.
You don't have to make
Better
Kickstarters.
Yeah, you don't have to make a Kickstarter, and that's all. That's another issue because sometimes you don't have the money to make a good Kickstarter, so you have to make
A Kickstarter.
Kickstarter for a Kickstarter. For Spikeball, a lot of it's more. You don't. I mean, it's harder to plan Spikeball videos because you don't know what the rallies look like. It's hard to plan a rally. So it's a lot more spontaneous. A a lot of the time I work with great talent such as Sean, such as Nora, and the other Spikeball employees that live in California, Skylar, which is really nice. And I think the more that we've shot, the more we've become efficient and can get done what we want faster because the talent is just so great.
I got a question for you, Tom. What would be your number one piece of advice for an aspiring Spikeball videographer?
Oh, great question. Makes me a little afraid that you're asking this because you're about to fire me. That's a good question. I would say, this isn't a piece of advice, but one thing that I've learned is that I'll always leave thinking that I didn't get enough footage, and just know that in the end you'll have enough good footage to make something because like when I'm filming a tournament, I'm always worried that I didn't get good rallies, but there's that's a bad answer. But I don't know. Spikeball's just cool enough that the videos come out looking cool every time.
Yeah, just film enough to where at the end of the day, you'll when you're sifting through the footage, there's usually something there.
Yeah,
it is a very visually appealing sport. So,
it is.
And then you combine that with production skills like yours.
Exactly, fire.
Sounds like what Tom did there is he took your question, Sean, and then he wanted to impart his own wisdom, so he ignored the question just so he could share his own wisdom.
He's been interviewed before. He knows he knows his way around.
He knows the drill.
He doesn't want to give up. He doesn't want to give up the advice.
I'm a pro.
That's great. What is your favorite video you've made for Spikeball?
Oh, great question.
I hope you answer. I hope you answer this one.
Great question. I'll answer a different one. I think I like the video that I made for the San Francisco tournament in 2017. It's a cool, stylish video, but it's hard to make those kinds of videos because it takes such a long time to edit and plan them. So it's like it needs to. I don't know. When I was making that, that was like the only thing on my plate, so I had more time to focus on it. But yeah, I like that video. I also like the. No, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say that is my favorite shot, which is Sean running down a hill after pro sets. I just imagine behind the scenes, just like, all right, let him go. Oh no, 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 go get him, go get him.
So a little fun side story there. I go and like it's really early, 7 a.m. in the morning. Like Tom needs some help, so I bring drive sets over there. I don't really know what I'm gonna be getting into myself, so I wear just like slippers. And then he's like, all right, I need you to run down this hill. It got a little dangerous there for a second, but the shot turned out good.
Yeah, it was like even when you're running in flip flops, it's just really loud. You can wake up the entire neighborhood.
That's pretty good. Hey, you were gonna say another video you liked.
I also like that shadow video. That's basically it's looking straight down on people playing, and you can't see the people. You can only see the tops of their heads, but you can see their shadows. So it sort of looks like the shadows are the people. It's kind of hard to explain if you haven't seen it. But
I'll post a link to that. That blew up on Reddit twice, and there's so many times where it's like, this is fake. How do they do this? And then it's like, oh, wait, I'm just an idiot.
Yeah.
But a lot of people do think it's kind of designed that way, or it's not real.
Yeah. Well, it's funny to read the comments. Like it was posted on these like stoner subreddits, and there's like a Instagram account called If You High, and it just posts like trippy videos. And so it got on like there too, and all the comments are like, "This is so edited."
It's like no, it's perspective. Well, it reminds me of. Have you seen? There's a picture of all these camels. And it looks like it looks like the camels are straight up, but it's actually a sky view, and what you think are the camels are actually the camel shadows.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, we were just flying with the drone, and you're like, hey, let's just. Did you notice it was cool at the time, or did you just film that shot and notice afterwards?
No, we were filming Spike School stuff. We were just trying to get like I don't know shots for some part of it, and I was looking back. it was one day that we were like looking for stuff on social media, like something to post on Instagram, and the video was taken so that it was actually like rotated. The shadows were like going off to the side, so I rotated it like.
So you did edit
90
it.
degrees.
It's not real.
It was edited. It was edited. Yeah.
Okay, hey, going off of that, Spike School. You had to remake new Spike Schools to show on ESPN this past weekend. And I think the number one question for everyone is the jargon section with the lobster trap. Where did lobster trap come from? Because no one had heard of it before they saw it on TV last Saturday night.
Well, so, not true. As I explained in part 1 of the interview, this has been... Lobster trap is a term that's been around for at least 6 months.
6 months.
And if anyone was paying attention to the videographer at any of the tournaments, whenever there was a lobster trap, someone would be shouting lobster trap. And I brought some proof that it's been around. I showed this last time, but it's a video that I made part of the Nationals recap from last year, and it got taken out before the final cut. That's Skylar lobster trapping.
How come that graphic didn't make the cut, Tom?
Yeah.
I don't know. Nick didn't like it. Boss.
I wonder how many great roundhead terms have been X'd by Nick Gonzalez.
Yeah, probably a bunch. Wow, this one.
But I'll be honest. I started saying it ironically, and I feel like I'm gonna just start saying it unironically. On the broadcast last weekend, I kept saying it. I kept saying lobster trap, and like at first I say it as a joke, and then I'm just like, nah, that's lobster trap.
It's incredible how many times I've heard it since it aired on ESPN. Yeah. Everyone's saying it, Tom. You're trending.
Well, there needed to be a term for it.
Did there?
Oh my God! I mean, how many?
The ball goes under the net. That's it. It goes. The ball served under the net.
So, if my calculations are correct, it was said 3 times in the ESPN broadcast outside of the jargon section in gameplay. So
he could have just said it was hit. Oh, that one's under the net.
That's not as fun.
No, I love lobster trap. I think it's great.
No one would remember Tom for that.
Okay.
He's etched himself into Spikeball lore.
So
yeah, I'm glad.
But
go ahead.
Tom's gonna get me again. So it's some of the stuff we said in part 1, not releasing part 1, just doing part 2 here. The best part was that lobster trap was the first term of the jargon section, as if it's used all the time.
In order of importance, lobster trap first, Fuego last.
That's funny. So, what was the process like of shooting for ESPN? Like, how involved were you in the process of the, I guess the production?
So, Sean can talk on this too, because Sean was a bigger part than me. But we had a production crew, PMTV, and they were in charge of putting the entire production together pretty much. They worked with a couple of us at Spikeball Inc. to just talk about like what we wanted. The cool thing was we were kind of like starting this whole thing from scratch. So we could pull different aspects of different televised like sports and events that we liked and try to incorporate those into the broadcast. So we're talking about like, I don't know. Actually, I'd be interested like what you think. But we were trying to come up with like, what's a Spikeball tournament most like? Like, volleyball?
The Super Bowl.
The Super Bowl? American Ninja Warrior was an interesting one that was thrown around. But like one of the troubles was
well, kind of like what sport do you model it after? What production type do you model it after?
Because not often do you have like a tournament with a bunch of different games in one show court.
Yeah.
Sometimes like golf, you have like different games that you can bop around to.
Also, I think a big thing also is that if it was an all-day broadcast, it would have been a lot different. Like, the big question is, how do we show it in an hour? Right? Because you easily could show just all of the matches throughout the day, and that would be normal. But trying to fit it all in 1 hour is the hard part.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, I was in charge of making the 5 educational segments that happened when we came back from commercial break, and 3 Spikeball centric commercials that aired for the first 2 airings of it. And Sean was announcer number 2, color commentary, which was my favorite part of the broadcast.
Yeah, I brought the color. It was
So Sean,
let's
hear about that, Sean. Were you nervous?
Yeah, so I was probably more nervous than I was letting on. Just in the, so I'm confident that I can talk and analyze Spikeball all day long, but I've never really done it to that production value before, especially in front of ESPN, where what I'm saying is in the ear of 10, 20 people back in the car, and they're not judging me, but they've done this before, so they know what it should sound like. So, but Marshall, the other commentator who I worked with, was really great about it and sort of coached me through it. I coached him through the intricacies of Spikeball, and we just played off each other, and it worked out pretty well. I'm excited because we learned a lot, both from announcing and then also from the production and even from the sport, what we want to make better for Coney. So I think Coney Island, that broadcast, will take a lot of the good stuff and just make it better.
Yeah. One thing I'm very excited about is the fact that we had the Lancaster broadcast, and then we have 2 months in between to address all the problems we had with it and make it better for the Coney Island. I think it's a perfect amount of time, and I'm just excited to be able to.
I do want to say that right there you combined the 2 pronunciations of Lancaster and Lancaster.
Did I?
Well, there's either Lancaster or Lancaster. You said Lancaster.
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 Just trying to appeal to everyone.
You're trying to just get it.
Is it Lancaster?
Lancaster. Yep.
Yeah. Lancaster.
One thing I will say though, for our first time ever being nationally televised, and at a tier of ESPN quality, I think we're all pretty happy with how it went, and we knew there'd be some learnings coming out of it, but it was cool. It was really cool to see. I was talking to Chris about it the night of, Chris Reeder, CEO, just how far we've come, because it had always been a dream to make it to that level, and to finally do it in any capacity is fun to be a part of.
It's pretty crazy to me that was just the first time, and I think you did pretty well. It's nope, never done this before. That's just a testament to also a lot of the planning and the production crew that you hired. But it's pretty crazy. Yep, first time ever. All right, went pretty well. Seems pretty ridiculous. So that's cool. Logan.
Yeah, for sure.
So what did you play a role in the ESPN broadcast?
I made sure everything was there.
Thank you, Logan.
It all got there.
It all got there. All the equipment was there.
Yep.
Hey, you know what? Actually, I have a good transition, because I think this is where we got cut off last time.
Okay.
Was I was asking Logan, as someone who wasn't at the event and didn't have only saw the event through the lens of the TV, and not kind of having the I related it last time to if you go to a game show, when you go to an actual taping, you're oh, this is way smaller, and then you have a different view of it after having been there. So Logan, I was curious, as someone who'd only seen it on TV, what you thought of the whole event.
I watched it I watched the full airing. So me and my friends were in Austin, and we were getting food at this restaurant, and I went in. They all were going to do something. I was hey, I'm gonna go watch this. Y'all can do whatever, and just meet up at the restaurant when it's time. And I went and sat down to watch it. Ended up watching volleyball for an hour.
UCLA, UCLA.
So they blew it. And then so I watched it because because we didn't have our table yet, so I was like sitting at the bar watching it with like this app that like can get the audio from the TV with like headphones in my ears. And it was just, I mean, it was cool like watching it on TV. I think it was like a lot more like hyper aware, like worried about like, oh, what are other people thinking this sport is cool? Like are other people like thinking this is really fun to watch and whatnot? But I mean, it was kind of a surreal feeling, being able to see the sport on TV and just watch it. But the second time, I only watched like, the last 10 minutes, but I was able to like enjoy it a lot more. I was just like sitting on my couch being like, I'm seriously watching like round net on TV,
Yeah.
which was really cool. The first time I think I was like really hyperactive of like, okay, like what does this broadcast look like? How does it compare to other sports? And then the second time on my couch for just 10 minutes, I was literally like leaning back and like, I'm watching this on TV right now. This is so cool.
Yeah, that's like, I have the same thing. Like, I watched it with my family and I watched it alone. And when I was watching with my family, I was watching through their eyes. It's almost like, you know, when you show someone a TV show, like you're showing someone an episode of Always Sunny, and you're like, "Oh my god,
please laugh,
like,
please
sucks.
laugh, please
it's
laugh."
Not funny.
Yeah.
It's
That's a great
almost like
comparison.
that. But then when I was watching alone, I was like, "This is great."
Yeah.
So we all went to.
That was great.
Yeah. Like we all went to Buffalo Wild Wings when we were in Lancaster to watch it. And before, I was kind of nervous and kind of just wanted to go watch by myself. Because I was like, if this doesn't go well, I don't want to be with everyone. I'd like to just like slowly take it in by myself. I wasn't even that involved. Just was kind of nervous about it. But it was really fun. The best part, my favorite part, was beforehand at volleyball. UCLA needed to clinch Game 4, and everyone in the bar became big UCLA fans. That was my favorite part. And then it went to Game 5. Well, then it went to Game 5, and whoever was winning, we would just cheer for. We were just big bandwagon fans. But anyway, we watched it the next night, and that's when I was also able to hear the commentary, and I actually liked it a lot. I like it was less yelling of excitement and more actual watching, and I thought it went pretty well. And hearing the commentary, Sean did a great job. It was wonderful. Not enough lobster traps out of him, but maybe next time.
I know. I just couldn't like get myself to say it. So Marshall was doing all the lobster trapping.
I think one of my favorite parts of the broadcast were those commentator polos. Those things were awesome.
I gotta figure out where that ended up. That was pretty sweet.
Yeah,
Two in the world.
That's right. Y'all look pretty sharp.
Thanks, man.
I thought the best part was when they went to Observers. And you got to see me do my little creepy walk, creepy run.
Honestly, it just seemed like a lot of blown calls on the day. Kind of ruined the experience.
They showed 2 calls that I think we got right, and they didn't show the 6 others we got wrong. So but we were sitting in the bar, and I was actually kind of nervous about the second call where Ogres called that they said Lagertha's rim was a hit, or a hit was a rim, and someone else told me like, yeah, it was a rim, but like Becca hit the net first, so it should have been like Lagertha's point. And I was like kind of nervous because like that's all I heard. So I was sitting in the bar, and then once I watched it, I was like, okay, because it would have looked bad if we got the wrong call on national television. But I felt so relieved, and I was yelling.
Hey, Mike, not to take away from like the the limelight that you had. But that makes me remember one thing that I'm excited for the next tournament is that we didn't have instant replays for this one. Mm-hmm. So like when you guys were talking as observers, it was just on
us. I loved it.
Which I personally prefer. Yeah. Don't get me wrong.
Don't show it's like do it like high school hockey. They don't show instant replays on things that might be controversial because they don't want everyone to get mad.
Is that
Wait,
true?
Really?
Well, yeah. Well, so it's like for I think for mass hockey at the end of the year, if you like win the championship, is in the Boston Garden or TD Garden, and they don't always show replays on like penalties or stuff like that. They'll show it on goals because I don't think they don't want people getting mad at the high school hockey refs because like it doesn't really matter. There's no kind of good that comes out of that. So they don't. So don't. If you think I have the wrong call, don't show the replay. And hope no one has DVR. I'm just kidding. But no, that'll be really cool. I was actually, because you guys told me beforehand that, if we're going to do instant replays, you're going to let me know. Shout out to Darrell, who was doing the standby. But that never happened, and I was like, oh, I guess we're not doing any instant replays, which you don't always need. I thought what was really cool was before commercial there would be a replay, and like that kind of reminded me that really reminded me of other sports broadcasts where it's like, oh, that was that sick play that like just happened. But yeah,
I think having instant replays cut in throughout the broadcast too, with that ESPN, like they have like an ESPN transition that goes like, and they have like the sound effects and stuff. Like I think it's gonna make it seem more legit.
Yeah. Especially if we get like a slow-mo of the dive over from a different camera angle. Oh, that was my favorite thing was, watching during the day. I had no idea what the camera looked like. And then I see this like sky view and I'm like, wow, this looks sick. Or like after a point they're like zoomed in on one of the players. I thought it was so cool, like not knowing what it would look like.
Yeah, those player reactions were great. Mike, I was sitting next to Nora at Buffalo Wild Wings the whole time, so she was giving me a play-by-play of like what you were thinking while watching it, and it was so funny because like during the volleyball game, she was like, "Tom, Michael hasn't sat down for the last hour," and you were like walking around like, you're like like so nervous, and then like the whole thing started, everyone's like going wild, and she's like, "Tom, look at Michael, he's sitting in a booth alone," and then you were like in the back like curled up.
Told you I was nervous.
It was like fun to watch.
I wanted it to go well. It was funny. Well, if you see me watch like Spicy Ruby play, I get really nervous and I just like pace back and forth all the time. So if you see me pacing, I'm probably nervous. And then so it was also just like I didn't have a seat and there was a table with a booth. I'm like, wow, I'm just gonna go lie down by myself in this booth, and that was pretty fun. So it was less. That second one was less about nerves and more about like, wow, I can lay down in this Buffalo Wild Wings. Because you'll say like sitting is so much better than standing, and laying down is so much better than sitting. So if you have the chance, do it.
Hey, sorry to interrupt, but I have to turn the heat off of my rice. So give me like a second.
You better do that.
He planned that. He started rice before just so in the middle of this podcast.
He wants everyone to know how healthy he is. He's eating rice.
That rice diet.
I bet he probably has like pizza here. His pizza's delivered, but he's like, oh no, got to go get the rice.
Is he in California now? Is he back in Cali?
I think so.
Yeah, he is.
Just cooking up rice at 1:45.
Tisk tisk.
A little late lunch.
Yeah. Well, I guess that'll fill you up.
All right.
Sorry.
White or brown rice?
What do you think?
White.
Brown.
Sean, that's why we work so closely together.
Black or pinto?
So if we're going Chipotle order, I'm actually a white rice, put Chipotle. I'm a brown rice home.
Wow. The more you know. All right, so black or pinto?
Also,
black or pinto?
If we're talking Chipotle, because I don't make either at home, I'm going to go Chipotle from now on. Pinto.
Okay, wrong answer. You say some
Medium
of
and
both.
Mild.
You say some of both, and then you get tons of beans. Because they don't know how to do like a half scoop of beans, so you just get a full scoop of both beans. Pro tips.
There's so much good tips on ordering from Chipotle.
Sean, are you about to say this is a good segue?
Great segue into our quick-fire questions.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Rapid fire.
Are we ready for them?
All right, wait, hold on. So mild and medium.
Mild, medium.
What meat?
Extra sour cream.
What meat?
Chicken.
Okay. Extra sour cream. They don't give you that much. They really don't. I'm a big sour cream guy. I'm a big sour cream guy.
They give you too much guac. They give you too much guac, in my opinion.
Well, you gotta say like, you gotta change what you say. Say like instead of like scoop of guac, say like, can I get a dollop of guac? Just like try different phrases and see how much they give you for each.
Also, how often do you cook rice at 1:45, Tom?
Hey, first of all, appreciate that you did the math for me because you're not living in the same time zone. And to answer your question, a lot. That's all I eat, chicken and rice at home.
That's valid.
Sean, rapid fire for Tom, or quick fire, or any sorts of fire.
All right, Tom. So these are just going to be questions, help the audience get to know you a little more. I want to say you have up to 3 seconds to answer each, if you can.
Dang.
Make sense?
Oh man, yeah.
He's gonna go, wow, that's a great question. Here's my quick fire answer.
So
Okay.
they're gonna start easy, and we'll progress.
Okay.
Ready?
Yep. You see, you're
Favorite-
scheming. You're like smiling.
He's ready.
Favorite animal?
Tiger.
Favorite color?
Used to be red. Thinking it's purple these days.
Favorite cereal?
Jozo's. Good question.
Not Frosted Flakes.
Favorite Spikeball player?
Oh man, Zach Vance.
Whoa!
Wow.
Favorite number.
Favorite number?
Favorite number 5.
Favorite
Happens to be
holiday?
my birthday. Christmas.
Favorite movie?
Shawshank Redemption is what I say, but I don't really know.
Favorite body part?
Oh, that's a trick question, Sean. Wait, clarify.
Your body.
Of
Your
me,
favorite body part. 3, 2.
my beak.
Your favorite pastime or hobby?
Uh, um,
Bird watcher
Three.
watching.
playing frisbee.
Okay. Last one. Favorite Spike Bowling employee?
Oh, see, you were trying to get me on the quickfire. Pass.
There's an easy
Zach
answer.
Vance.
Good call.
Zach Vance.
Good call.
Hey, now I want to be asked those. Me
We'll
next.
do that on the
Me
Wait
next.
exclusive interview.
Yeah.
I'll have to think of some new ones
Wait,
for you.
playing frisbee is not your favorite hobby pastime.
I don't know. I couldn't think of one.
I've never
Oh,
seen you
filmmaking.
once touch a frisbee.
For pool.
Bumper pool. That's a good answer.
Bumper pool is
Bumper.
really fun. You know, it's pretty good. Ryan Fitzgerald.
Really?
I don't know. He just has it in his basement, so he's probably pretty good.
Do you think it's an East Coast thing? I've only seen it.
Nick,
the East-
Nick Sand has one as well, so 2 for 2 pretty much checks out. It's an East Coast thing.
Interesting.
Yeah, 100%.
Checks out.
Sean, you want to tell him who is the king?
You know, it pains me to admit it, but Tom is the king of bumper pool, at least out here in the West Coast.
Oh! I bought
Yeah.
a bumper pool table for my house. Out
Wait,
here.
Tom, you didn't answer. Who's your
Mhm.
favorite Spikeball Link employee?
That's an unfair question. I don't want to answer that.
Oh.
But if I had to,
If you had to, like, spend a weekend with one employee, who would it be?
I'll make it easier on you, Tom. Who's your favorite two?
That's probably harder. They have to make
Oh,
two
I-
decisions.
decline.
Okay, Tom,
I was just trying to set you up for a Sean Logan.
he can't even do that. He can't lie. Okay, Tom, I have a question. Is there one video that you just really want to make, Spikeball related or not? Something that like you just wish you had time to do? Not the top 10 plays.
All right. Well, I really wanted to make a general Spikeball video.
Like
A video that, hey, what's Spikeball? I don't think the how to play video necessarily captures all of what's great about Spikeball. It doesn't have anything about tournaments or doesn't have any good rallies in it. Yeah, it's a project I've been thinking about for a while, but it's a video that that somehow can showcase everything that's cool about Spikeball, explains the game, maybe a little history. I don't
Can you
know.
make it? Can you make like the Krabby Patty training video?
Wow.
I love that video, Logan. It makes me happy that you brought that up because that's one of my favorite videos.
That's how
That's-
Tom
that is-
learned.
that's-
That Tom learned everything he knows about videography from that video.
That's like the best episode of SpongeBob.
It
Well, that's a
really
hot
is.
take.
That's- Well-known fact,
Okay.
objectively.
Hey, speaking of hot takes, is hot takes like a segment on this show?
You can have them if you want.
It's more of a story arc than a segment.
Tom, do you have any hot takes?
I do have a hot take.
What's that?
My hot take is any D1 or 2 athlete combo if they trained for a month, could beat anyone in the Spikeball community.
No way. No way.
No way.
Maybe
either.
2
What you
months.
think like a volleyball, like D1 volleyball players, like they destroy, right?
You need like a. I think a month's too quick. I think they'd become very good within like 6 months. But
Yeah, it depends on who they're playing too. Like if they're practicing
if they're
with.
playing Tom Goulet,
Oops.
it won't happen.
Well, wait, what? I thought.
Tom,
I don't know.
you just flashed your ignorance in front of everyone. You can't act like that now.
I don't know, guys. We gotta get some D1 volleyball.
So are you
players.
saying that the round net athletes now are not athletes? Is that what you're trying to say? Are you trying to discredit
saying
all of us as athletes?
we
Not
don't
even
have
me.
any college athletes in the?
Hey, Fitzy played D3 soccer, or no, he played club soccer.
I'll have you know that this morning I went to a workout called boot camp at my apartment gym at 5:30. So I don't want you telling me I'm not an athlete.
Hey, didn't Sam Constantini played
Yeah,
soccer?
He played
D3 though.
soccer.
Is that D3?
That's
it
not
might be
D1,
D2.
man.
Is
Let's
it
see.
D1?
I'm going to see what it is. I'm going to the stats guy.
Tom,
So to
everyone's
play
mad.
devil's advocate
Okay.
on my own,
Yes.
thing is, well, they're not. These aren't D1 athletes at all, but like CrossFit people, like there's a bunch of like CrossFit people, right? And they like talk huge games, and then they come to the tournaments and they like totally suck it up,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, there was a gold medalist who played in our tournament and couldn't even win intermediate.
It was curling. I do think round net is a lot about skill. So I think if you get people that are athletes and have them play enough, they probably will be better. But it's not just automatic. You kind of got to work on your skills a lot. Like, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter how good you can lay out or chase down a ball. If you don't have the touch to get it back, it doesn't matter.
Easy to learn, tough to master. I just don't think they could do it in 1 month.
Yeah.
But I will agree that no one who's playing round net currently is of the athletic ability of a D1 athlete. Of the top. Cream of the crop.
Yeah, I hear you guys on the 1 month. I think that was a little too hot.
It's okay, Tom.
Hey, we like them
We
spicy,
appreciate
Tom.
it.
You guys got any hot takes?
Hot take. Tom Goulet doesn't get a haircut for a year and brings back the really long hair and then the mangs.
I love it. And you bringing up that hot take will actually affect the outcome. It
Yeah.
affects the truth of the matter.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I will.
Mike, I think you need to get a link to that picture in the description of this
Yes.
video of Tom
The
with mangs.
Yes.
Okay, actually, now's a good time to bring this up because I'm going back to my phone to bring this up, and I had one more thing planned. This is part one. This is the first man I've ever seen with mangs other than myself.
Wait, did you just have that at the ready?
Yeah, someone posted it on Snapchat, and I was like, "Is this another guy with mangs?"
Wait, like when did you see that?
I saw it a couple days ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where's you?
Okay.
Where's you with mangs?
I don't have it pulled up. I do have something else pulled up.
I'll get it. What do you have pulled up?
I feel like I'm like taking this in so many crazy directions, so I apologize.
Yeah, everyone's
Take
gonna
us
be
there,
like,
Tom.
wow, they really just dilly-dallied this whole time.
That's what I'm good at. But I do have something important, which is a contest that I'm announcing.
Wow.
Is it like Willy Wonka?
You didn't even clear
A
this
little
with
bit.
me.
So this is for a little special something for the people that watch the whole podcast.
Wow. All the way through.
It's a free T-shirt giveaway, and I'm putting up my own money for this T-shirt.
Wow.
Wow.
I designed a T-shirt on custom ink. It's a rally podcast design.
Yep.
And this T-shirt will be shipped to the person who makes my favorite nickname for Mike. We've got the West Coast,
Host.
the host from the West Coast, and the loudmouth from down south. So the design of the T-shirt is we got the loudmouth.
Oh
from
my
down south,
goodness. That's so great.
right there. This
That's
will be
pretty good.
shipped to whoever makes the best nickname for Mike by the end of next week. And
just in the Facebook comment threads, and you'll pick your winner.
Yeah, Mike will announce it in next week's episode.
Awesome.
So just
wow, that's such a great T-shirt, Logan. Aren't you glad I thought of that at 1 a.m. in sleeping on the couch or half asleep on the couch?
Logan, your face is so red. It looks like you just did an hour of boot camp.
Oh, Logan, we can't hear you. You made him speechless.
Oh man.
Can you hear me?
Now we can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Headphones are. I got a call from a spam bot, and then my headphones stopped working.
Wow. How do you feel about that shirt, Logan?
I don't know what to do. I'm blown away.
Would your wife wear that shirt?
No.
Hey, I gotta wait. Quick thing here. We got the mangs on Tom Goulet. Man buns are out. Mangs are in.
Yeah, baby.
Why didn't you make it Manatee Fair?
Oh, that would have been awesome.
That's genius.
Tom, you got some great profile pictures. Okay.
Thanks, Mike.
I'm excited about that contest now. I really am kind of not looking forward to my nickname, but I probably have it coming.
Oh, man.
Are we eligible to win, Tom?
Yeah, you guys are all eligible to win.
I can win my own.
Honestly,
are you going to put those on sale? I'm sure people would buy them. Like at least 3 people. Logan's mom and dad. Savannah would buy one.
I guarantee you my parents would buy it for
Jesse
sure.
Throw.
My mom is listening right now, and she's like, I want that. I'm telling you.
That's great.
Is this live? Did you guys do this live?
We're doing it live.
Yeah, it's actually like a...
It's not the first T-shirt. Actually, brighten this up a little bit. Not the first T-shirt I have had my face on.
I love Alone Time with Logan. Oh my goodness.
Oh no.
I think I sold 2.
Okay. All right. We're going to wrap this one up here because we talked a lot longer than I expected. And
we dilly-dallied.
Yeah. That's okay. Thank you, Tom Goulet, for coming on today. It's been a wonderful... What?
But you just said, it's okay, Tom Goulet, for coming on today. And it was just a nice little ditty.
Thanks, Tom. I'm kind of not sure if we... So, like, before we had questions about you, I think now we have more questions. So I think this was actually a negative sum interview.
Yeah. I mean, it was all questions about, like, me personally. There's no round net covered in this pretty much whole podcast.
That's not what we want. We want everyone to know the man behind the camera, Tom Goulet.
People want to know you, Tom. I would call this part 1 because in a month people are going to be asking for more.
Okay, well, cool. We'll call it part 1.5.
But I thought this was part 2. Or part 1.5?
I think we'll
call part 2 because then there's demand for part 1. No, like, you know, maybe you can make it a premium. Like
we'll do a prequel. We'll do a prequel. It'll be better, like the Star Wars prequels.
Lock it away in archives. Let's release it, and like when no one's expecting it, like a year.
Yeah, look, you can make a rally shop. We can have a shirt. We can have part 1 of the explosive interview with. By the way,
explosive.
Even more rocket intro, I think, than I had the first time.
You had a much better intro this time, I think.
Oh, cool.
Mostly because I didn't know what was happening. I think we already re-recorded like twice last time, and this time
this is actually episode 7 with Tom Goulet. We've had so many technical difficulties. It's hard living in a van. But, you know, it's okay. Okay. Thank you, Tom Goulet, for joining us. Thanks, Sean and Logan, for being on here as always. You know.
Remember, everyone. 100 likes, you can get a shirt out of Mike White's closet.
That is just gonna go on forever. If any episode gets 100 likes, you get a shirt out of Mike's closet.
Share this video.
Who does? All 100 people?
No, one person. Then we pick one person.
One person.
I got some cool shirts though. I got this really cool shirt from Chubby's that Trip Pearson said, did Mike lose a bet? Because it just looked so bad. But anyway, also, nicknames for me, apparently, and Tom's going to give you a shirt. A pretty cool shirt. Thanks, Tom.
Ship to your house.
All right, Tom. Thanks,
Mike,
guys.
I'll
What?
get you the podcast overlay
Yes.
ASAP.
Guys, if you're ever wondering why a podcast isn't released on Wednesdays, it's never because of me. It's always because of Tom Goulet.
True.
Every time. Just kidding. Okay, thanks for listening, guys. Hope to see you next time. Peace.
See you guys.